In this video, I'm going to take a look at the law of cosines. Law of cosines are pretty standard. These three formulas on the left-hand side are pretty standard. If you Google law of cosines, this is exactly what you're going to come up with. And a lot of times in textbooks, these are the only three that you are given. Alright, some textbooks will give you some alternate formulas to use with the law of cosines. Alright, and basically all this is if you know all three sides, then you can find the angle a lot easier than using this formula over here. All these are, this formula right here is basically this formula, and it has already mathematically been solved for cosine A. That's all it is. This formula over here is this exact same formula. The only thing is I have taken this equation and solved for cosine B, putting that on one side. So then that just lets you put basically a plug and chug scenario. If you know all three sides, then you can plug them in really easy, do the inverse cosine, and then you'll have the angle. Alright, so if you need those formulas, if you've not seen them before, go ahead and hit pause on the video, and then you can copy them down. We're going to work out one example. Alright, straightforward, finding all the missing parts of the triangle, as well as using that alternate formula there. So let's suppose you've got a problem that says find all missing parts of the triangle, given the following. We're given two sides and an angle. So side A is 2, side B is 3, and angle C is 60. Alright, now generally what I do every time is I draw just a rough sketch of a triangle, never draw them to scale. Alright, just that lets me look at a visual a little bit. I usually always draw the same triangle over and over and over. Alright, we'll put A here, we'll put B here, and we'll put C here. They've given us angle C is 60 degrees. They have also given us side A. So if this is angle A, this is side A. So this side's got to be 2. They've given me side B. If this is angle B, then this has got to be side C, 3. Side across from it's got to be 3. Alright, so then what that tells me is then I need to find this side over here, lowercase c. I need to find angle A, and I need to find angle B. Alright, and then here, let's put on here not to scale, not drawn to scale. Because in all honesty, I'm not needing it drawn to scale. All I need is just a kind of a visual to see what I need to find to find all the missing parts of this triangle. Alright, so first off, I'm probably going to go ahead and attempt to find side C. So we'll use the laws of cosine, and we'll use the C squared formula. So let's do find side C. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do first. So my formula, let's go ahead and write it down. It's going to be C squared is equal to A squared plus B squared minus 2AB cosine of C. Okay, so I'm going to fill it in with everything I know here. So C squared is equal to, alright, A is 2, so I'm going to have 2 squared, which is 4. B is 3, 3 squared is 9. And I'm going to go ahead and write all this out because this is usually where people make a mistake here. I'm going to have 2 times A, which is 2, times 3, and then cosine of our 60 degrees. Okay, now a lot of people want to, I don't know, not do order of operations right here. You definitely have to follow order of operations. Everything to the right of this minus sign is being multiplied, so all of that has to be multiplied. So I'm going to do C squared equals 4 plus 9 minus, alright, 2 times 2 is 4, times 3 is 12, and then times cosine of 60 degrees. Hopefully you have that memorized as 1/2. Alright, this has to be multiplied before you do any subtracting. So C squared is equal to 4 plus 9 minus 6. And then we've got a C squared is equal to, adding that, subtracting 6, I'm going to get 7. And then C is going to be square root of 7. Alright, now a lot of times you're not going to want to do anything other than leave that as a square root of 7. If I put that in the calculator and get a decimal and then I round it, then it's going to throw off answers that I would calculate and find later than that. Alright, and you'll also notice that if we leave it like that, when we use that alternate formula, it's going to fall out really nicely. Alright, so I think the next thing I want to do is find angle A, and I'm going to use the alternate formulas. So let's put find angle A for our next step. Alright, so if I'm going to find angle A, then I've got to use the formula cosine A is equal to, that would be B squared plus C squared minus A squared all over 2BC. Okay, now since I do know all three sides, I was given two sides and I found side C, I can definitely use this alternate formula here. So I'm going to have cosine A is equal to, our B is 3, so 9 plus C. Alright, let's go ahead and do that right here so that you actually see why I want to leave that the way it is. If I take square root of 7, C squared, and square it, those two things are going to cross out. It's going to leave me with a 7 really nice right there. And then minus A squared, A is 2, 2 squared is going to be 4, all over a 2 times B is 3, and C is square root of 7. So let's go ahead and clean that up a little bit more. Cosine of A is equal to, let's do a 16 minus 4 on top is going to give me a 12. And then 2 times 3 is going to give me a 6 square root of 7. Now, in all honesty, we're not going to need to really go any farther than that right there. I mean, you could rationalize it, you could reduce it a little bit. Alright, but at this point, I'm trying to find angle A. I'm going to have to use the inverse cosine function. So if you're using a calculator, I could immediately just say, okay, well, A is going to be approximately equal to the inverse cosine of 12 over 6 radical 7. Okay, if you go farther with that and then plug that in the calculator and you were apt to accidentally make a mistake, then you would be wrong at that point. Alright, if you want to actually plug that in your calculator, go ahead, hit pause, do that, and see if you can come up with A is approximately equal to 41 degrees. Okay, now let's see, I've got side C, I've got angle A, so the only other remaining thing would be angle B. Alright, and then that's going to be no more than adding up and subtracting from 180 because I've got two angles now. So let's do that part right here. Let's find angle B. I'm going to take 41 and 60. We'll go ahead and show that. 41 plus 60 is going to give me 101. And then I need to subtract that from 180. Since the three angles in a triangle equals 180 degrees, that's going to give me 79 degrees, then approximately for B. Alright, so pretty much just one straightforward example of that law of cosines using the standard formula that everyone's always given and then using the alternate formula to find one of the angles. Definitely thanks for watching. If the videos are helping, please share with your friends so they can benefit too, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thanks.